Digital Nepal Conclave 2024.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Minister of Communications and Information Technology, Chairman of ICT Foundation, and eminent guests and speakers who are present in this conclave today. Good morning and namaste. It is a pleasure for me, for somebody who grew up and did his SLC from Sangza, to be here. I would like to thank the ICT Foundation for giving me this opportunity. Perhaps it is because of this topic, digitalization and development, I became somewhat introspective. Alikati ghachghachaya malai. Why have I been invited to speak here today? What is my contribution to the digitalization of Nepal? Don't get me wrong, I have some achievements. For example, I have been in the software industry for more than 25 years. I have co-founded two of the largest software companies in Nepal. I've been the founding CTOs of two very laudable startups, healthcare startups in the US. But those have all been for the outside. We've not really worked on projects in Nepal. And that got me thinking, if we can work for projects in the US, why can't we deliver for Nepal? I think it is time for us to think big and think differently when it comes to digital transformation in Nepal. If we can promote tolls to pay for highways, why can we not promote service payments to allow for digital solutions in Nepal? That will make most projects viable. Through my presentation today, I hope to spur your imagination. I hope to share some of the projects that we are working on in Leapfrog that are also applicable to Nepal. And in doing so, I hope you'll start thinking about what is possible for Nepal with the technology and the skill sets and the manpower that we already have. So my introduction was already very generous to me. I don't want to talk about myself, but I do want to highlight two things from my background. One is, when I did my MNs from MIT, it was paid for by Motorola. What we had is something called the 6A co-op program, wherein the industries worked with the researchers that were doing the master's program, and in doing so, they owned the research. In return, the master's program was paid for by the company. In my case, the sponsor was Motorola. When I look at the colleges in Nepal, I don't see a similar arrangement. If we want to attract a lot of students in the information technology sector, I think it is very imperative that we promote similar programs. Next is, I just want to talk about how I have been involved in creating a lot of cross-border teams. In Leapfrog, one of our major challenges is the lack of senior resources. I just looked at the data. There's more than 7,500 companies that are registered in the IT sector in Nepal. That means whatever little senior people that we have, there's a lot of competition among the companies. In our case, we've gone outside of Nepal. We have formed companies in India, Vietnam, South America. And we have paired those people with our team in Nepal. In doing so, it has created a lot of dividend in our output. And I think that there's something for our government here as well. In order for Nepal to create qualified workforce, they need to work with outside people. We just don't have enough senior people. What that means is we need to make it easier for people to come and work here. We need to make it easier for them to get work visas. And we should also attract digital nomads. This slide is directly from the Digital Nepal framework promoted by our government. In each of these sectors, technology can play a crucial role. I can name just a few. Telemedicine and healthcare to allow people in villages to access doctor visit. Mobile banking to make remittance easier, cheaper, fast, and safe. And e-learning platforms to make public education better and less dependent on teachers. If you notice, All of these examples that I cite are targeting the bottom of the pyramid population. This is really where digital solutions shines. Development then becomes inclusive and equitable. However, the most important thing here is not what, it is how. None of these changes will happen without the strong leadership support. Digital transformation is not rocket science. We already have the know-how, we already have the people to do it. But undertaking it requires vision, long-term planning, risk-taking, and adaptability. It will be our leaders who will be the most critical component here. Technology people like me will simply implement those decisions. We put the vision into action. Let me spend some time talking about two areas that I've been intimately involved in. I've spent a considerable amount of time working on these areas, and I think Nepal can really use our expertise. In the healthcare sector, we've worked on a number of projects that are applicable for Nepal. In Signetic, we worked with the city of Seattle to vaccinate more than 1 million people during COVID. Our software kept track of health questions, notifications, allergies, and compliance reporting. We beat the likes of Microsoft and Salesforce to back this project. It was indeed a world-class project in public health made by our team here in Nepal. Let me also talk about Bamni. Bamni is an open-source electronic hospital management system for countries with low resources like Nepal. Leapfrog was in the governing council of Bamni, and we contributed resources to create this open-source technology. I know Bayalpata Hospital in Assam and Gorkha Welfare System are using this system. My question is, why can't all the public hospitals in Nepal use this? Now the question is, why should we promote universal medical record, electronic medical record? Because having a digital record simply allows for better patient outcomes. Once all the health records are digitized, we can have a much better public health outreach and effective outcomes. Recently, we were working on a number of AI initiatives in healthcare for the US. One is AI-generated second opinion for cancer patients. In the US, every year there are more than 2 million cancer diagnoses. And 50% of those people look for second opinions. And of those, 51% actually end up changing their disease treatment path. Second is Andrea.ai, which generates patient education videos and AI chatbot off of the discharge summary. I know there are many ideas like these in the cutting edge using AI that are applicable for Nepal as well. I hope we make serious effort to digitize the health record in the country so that we can move towards this. Education is another area. It is very near and dear to me. It has been the reason that I've gotten the opportunities to move out of Sangza and be in this platform. One of our projects was with the Dallas School District model. We worked with the school district to have a CCMR, College, Career, and Military Readiness Program for all high school students. This was funded by Michael and Susan Dell Foundation. And the idea is technology enables assessment and guidance counselors to identify students who need early intervention. As a result, they can guide the students based on their performance and their aspirations. If we can have a similar program in Nepal, we can really help our students to identify whether they should go for college or they should go through vocational training. Second, I want to talk about Adyan School. The school was facilitated by ICT Foundation last year for its excellence in using technology for learning. We've used technology-centric approach to learning. We teach coding, project-based learning to students from a very early age. And we also incorporate innovation in our teaching. In fact, we have collaborated with DTech High School in Silicon Valley to start an innovation diploma program. The idea is to make our students confident on the world stage. Our hope is that Adyan School will be a model school for other teaching institutions to emulate. Finally, we want to bridge the gap between academia and industries by investing in training. We're starting with AI Excellence of Center for our own employees, but we'll soon open this up for other people in Nepal. If we intend to grow the workforce, a massive training and upskilling is required. This is a nice time to segue into talking about the IT workforce in Nepal. Our government's goal is to increase the IT industry's size from the current 515 million USD to 22 billion USD, and also increase the number of IT workers from the current 80,000 to 500,000 in the next decade. If we want to do this, this will require us to massively scale our workforce. Every year, about 10,000 students graduate in STEM disciplines. This is simply not enough. We really have to increase it tenfold. And I don't think we need to be daunted by the 500,000 number. There's enough work for all of them. TCS alone has more employees than this. Japan will have a shortage of 800,000 engineers by 2030. Once we have such a large workforce, it will lead to a spillover effect as well in having enough skilled workers for our own digital transformation. But just the number is not enough. As I talked about previously, Leapfrog has opened offices in Vietnam, in India, in South America, and that is really to harness senior engineers to work with our engineers in Nepal. That is needed. In order for people to learn in the software sector, you have to be working and exchanging ideas with senior people, and we don't have enough of them in Nepal. I encourage our government to think about making it easier to get work visas for people to come and work here in Nepal by also attracting digital nomads. There can be exchange of ideas and really help our IT sector. If you were to ask me, what is the one thing that the government can do to really help the IT sector, this is it. If you have any doubts, look at how many countries like Indonesia, Thailand, and Sri Lanka are attracting digital nomads with special visa classes. Given our right honorable Prime Minister is here, I cannot let go of the opportunity to be slightly prescriptive for digital transformation. We all have a soft spot for Nepal, but the reason to do business in Nepal should not be our love for Nepal. It should be because it's good business. How then should we go about it? Number one, I think we need to promote Make in Nepal. We have to give priorities to Nepali companies to serve the local needs. I know digital transformation is not rocket science. More than 90% of our software needs and digital transformation opportunities can be addressed locally. Let us really promote Make in Nepal. Rome was not built in a day, and Infosys did not become big overnight. If you read the book on TCS by S. Ramodarai, you will notice how difficult it was in the initial days for them as well, and that is a Tata company. But we have to start small. In Leapfrog, all of our projects, we follow the agile methodology. What that means is you divide work into smaller chunks. Every 2 weeks, you produce something that is available to the stakeholders, and through the feedback, you make changes. As they say in software, change is the only constant. हाम्रो समाजमा पनि उखान छ, ढुङ्गा छाम्दै खोला तर्ने. Every project can be divided into small modules to begin with. Individual teams can implement them, get stakeholder feedback, and slowly that can be scaled. There are certain aspects that the government can insist upon, such as scalable architecture, good security posture, that can be harmonized across all projects and products. I know our industry in Nepal can deliver on this. We just need our government to place their trust on us. Finally, we have to prioritize mobile. I don't have to say much on this. Everybody has a mobile phone. We just saw some data around mobile phone usage in Nepal. All services need to be mobile friendly, and unlike my presentation today, Nepali friendly as well. That ensures reach, inclusiveness, and equity for all Nepali citizens. So I want to conclude my presentation with a different note. Napoleon said, if you want to know what a person is, look at the world when he was 20 years old. When I was 20 years old, internet was just making its presence felt in the world. I see enormous potential and positive outcome for Nepal with that. It's a good thing that we haven't made the leap of digital transformation so far. Otherwise, our investment in legacy technology would mean it would be very difficult for us to make those changes. Because we haven't done that, we can make the best the greatest solutions with the technology that is available. Let us work on that path. Thank you.